Hey, what's going on guys? I hope you're all doing great. So in today's video, I want to show you how you can create a retro title or text animation inside Davinci Resolve. So let's start. Let's open up the project settings and I'm going to change the timeline frame rate to 30, playback to 30 as well, and click on save. Drag in the Fusion comp onto the timeline. And let's go to the Fusion page and start creating our animation. So let's bring in the text tool onto the flow and let's take a look at this text node. I'm going to make some room over here and I'm going to type in my text and change the font style as well. I'm going to increase the font size a little and I'm going to animate the tracking. So let's go to the 50th frame and create a keyframe on tracking. Let's go to the very first frame and increase the tracking amount. So maybe something like that. And then we're also going to animate the positioning. So I'm going to go to 60th frame and go to the layout over here and we have center Z. Let's create a keyframe on that and let's go back to the very first frame and decrease the value until your text completely disappears. So if you scrub through the timeline, you can see the text is not going through the letter over here. I want it to go through this T letter over here. So what we can do is we can change the center X and let's try to bring it in the center. And now if you scrub through, you'll see that still just go through this letter over here, which is exactly what we want. And now I'm going to go to the shading tab and here on the under appearance we will change it to text outline. And now here's the real meat of this tutorial. So it's just spacebar and search for duplicate, DUP, and you have duplicate over here and click on add. Let's take a look at this duplicate node and here we can change the number of copies. We can set this to, let's say, 8, and for the time offset you can set this to -0.1. You can also do +0.1 and that'll also work. So as you can see, it just generates more copies of this text for you, and this is how we'll be able to create our animation. So I'm going to go back to the text tool and go to the text tab over here and I'm going to change the font color. So the first color I'm going to use is red, but you can use any color that you want. And then I'm going to click or select this text one node, Control C to copy it and then Control V to paste it. So it will add a text node with the merge node as well, already connected. You don't have to connect it. And then in the second one I'm going to change the color of the text and do the same thing. Select it, Control C, Control V, select the third text, change its color, and one more time, Control C, Control V, and this will be our final color. So maybe we can set this to white and click on OK. Alright, so these are all animating at the same time, so we want a bit of delay. So I'm going to go to the keyframes here and I'm going to select the second text tool, expand it. We have center Z over here. Click on this icon, or you can just, it's right over here, so you can just move it, and I'm going to move this keyframe forward by about 2 frames. Select the third text tool, expand it, center Z, and move it forward by about 4 frames. And for the last one, we will move it forward by about 6 frames. Alright, that looks good. So I'm going to go back to the duplicate tool and we want to change the apply mode. So you can see that our text is looking weird right now. I'm going to set this to screen. And that will slightly fix your text, but what I also want to do is, let's just go back and let me just show you right over here. You can see we have all these lines that are solid, and I want a bit of transparency at the end as it moves to the end. And the way we can do that is by changing the blend amount over here. So we can just decrease that value, and you can see as you decrease, it will just well, actually it's just going to create the transparency on the text layers that are in front, because we set the time offset to -0.1. If it was +0.1, then it will just create the transparency behind the text. Alright, so that's also cool. Let's just take a look at the animation. I'm going to render this out. Alright, so there we have our animation. So let's just go somewhere over here, and what we can do is we can increase the or change the time offset a bit. I'm actually going to decrease the time offset I'm gonna set this to negative 0.3, and you can see it just creates these nice streaks in your animation, which just looks really nice. So I think that's just it. That's how you can create this animation inside Davinci Resolve. Finally, you can add in a merge node and a background node as well. Connect the background as the background to this merge, and this duplicate as foreground, and then connect it with the media out. So if you take a look, we have a black background now. Now you can change the background easily to any color that you want. I'm going to set this to black and go to the edit page, and here you have your animation ready to render. So that's just it. That's how you can create this animation. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If it was, do make sure you leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.